Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. It is me, it is CGB, and we're on those tribal times. And today we're going full knight tribal. Now, I made a black-white knight-ish deck earlier in the format, but it wasn't the full-on, here are all the knights I can make and buff them with tribal kind of effects. It wasn't, in my opinion, like a true tribal deck. It was more of a mid-range thing. We're gonna go for the full-in knight tribal approach. So you see right off the back, you see Dauntless Bodyguard, Knight of Grace, Metallic Mimic, Valiant Knight. That's what I'm talking about. Win or lose, we will roll with this. Yep, one thing about tribal decks is you look for sweet tribal synergies. The payoffs are not always exactly the same, but most of the time it's lords and being able to buff a bunch of creatures with one other body and domination. Our opponent saw the Concealed Courtyard, had no chance. They knew it was over. Why do I keep such games? Because I don't edit. I literally hit record and start talking. So, yeah, it would probably take me longer to re-record the intro anyway than it does to get another game, which is one of the joys of Magic on the internet, my friends. No shuffling. You can get right into another game if you don't want none. This hand is a little slower than the last one without a 1-drop, but we don't actually play very many 1-drops. And all of this will enter the battlefield untapped, and we'll have the right colors for everything. So I have to keep the U. I think this could go very well. This is one of the trademarks of the deck is we get to play Benalish Marshal with the 3-white casting cost while also playing black cards. Our only black cards are creatures, which means they can all be played with Unclaimed Territory, and so can the Marshal, which makes the mana base actually very color friendly despite having being a 2-color deck running those tricolor cards. Of course, I would like to stop drawing land now and draw many, many more knights. More knights, please. Less of the manas. We do top out at 4 here in this particular build of the deck. I don't have Lyras or any like crazy 5 or 6 drops in the deck, so it's a much more aggressive build. Okay, another land is not great, but that is the life we are going to be living, it appears. Benalish Marshal, +1/+1, plus it's going to pump our Knight of Malice because it's a white card, and let's get in there for 4 damage. The Gifted Aetherborn can attack back, and we don't want to block it. But let's see. Oh, don't block. Don't do it. Oh, no. That's not how Death Touch works. First strike does the damage before the Gifted Aetherborn can do the damage. The Death Touch will not kill it in this case. So, you know, as Nighthawk in my stream chat would say, in before bug report on Reddit, or hacker accusations. And then I'm always nervous when there's a mistake like that early in a game for the shame quit. So this game could also be over before it begins. Oh, adventures in the arena. Getting players of all different types together. I mean, this is a silver rank player though. I mean, it's not they're not bronze. They should know how the Death Touch works. Maybe a little brain fart. And perhaps, oh, there's the shame quit. Knight's absolutely dominant. Tier 1, completely untouchable, clearly. Opponent's just bowing down in front of it, left and right. Shall we go again? So for those of you who have been joining the Discord, thank you very much. We have an awesomely large Discord now, which for a long time wasn't the case. It's very excellent. I've set up a channel to talk about the Pro Tour that's going on this weekend. If anybody wants to hang out and talk Magic and talk Pro Tour happenings, I know I'll be watching it live on Twitch most of the weekend. So that could be really fun. Feel free to come by the Discord and do that. We also have a lot of people who like to talk deck lists. So if you want to share your list and get feedback, we have people into that, and we have sections for it. So thanks to everybody coming out to the Discord. We also just did our first giveaway on Twitch for Twitch subscribers, and that was a foil Gideon, and we gave out 2 of them. We have 2 winners. I'll be shipping those today. So a lot of good things happening around the CGB universe. Well, I could play the first Striking Knights, or I could play the Mimic and pump all the future Knights, and I think I'll do that. Red, green, Servant of the Conduit. This could be a lot of things. This could be Teamer Energy, but it could also just be like red-green mid-rangey shenanigans. Nope, elf isn't what we want. Sorry, habits. If you've seen my elves video, you know they don't break easy. A Dragon Skull Summit now. I'm definitely getting more confused by the second. And a Fatal Push. Well, regardless, it's hard to turn down a History of Benalia. And it does mean we want to play our Knight of Grace earlier, since our opponent plays black cards. But I guess we're just going to go Benalia. See how much damage we can do. It'd be nice to draw another Lord or pump effect of some kind, as I'm sure our opponent's going to have some big monsters. Okay, Sarkhan is here. It's a dragon, maybe a junk dragon thing. What you got?
I'll show you unhinged.
Unhinged. Blossoming Defense. Goes good with dragons. But our opponent discarded it, so they are fearless. Let's just spam more. Night spam. Just go into your face. Just gonna try to kill you. I don't think I can deal with big dragons anyway. Not without drawing the removals that, so far, we haven't seen in a single hand. So here's the question. How big is the dragon? And how much damage will it do to me? Big dragon. It's a big dragon. Juicy one. You might say. Juicy one. That's a good draw, but not when you don't have the land for it. So, just kind of turning out awkward here, unfortunately. However, our opponent doesn't know that we don't really have an effect here, so I'm sending it all in quite fearlessly. And our opponent might be too intimidated to block. We'll find out. Meow. Never mind. Opponent has the soul read that we got nothing. And sadly, in this case, they are right. Nothing to do but go face and hope that we can catch our opponent somehow overcommitted, but I don't think that will happen. I think this one is in the bag for the dragon deck. Shivan Dragon, an oldie but absolute goodie. The fatal pushes are weird. Like, you're already heavily in red. Just play Magma Spray. Just play a Braid. Why specifically Fatal Push doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe it's a budget consideration since you get Fatal Pushes just for being in the game. Alright, our opponent did send an attacker, and this does give our knights 5 power, so they at least have to block 2 of them, but then we die to the counter attack if they do everything right. We'll at least force them to do it. Knights versus Dragons. A battle as old as time. So our opponent should not... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. The queen can pump all the dragons anyway with the team of fire breathing, so to speak. Just imagine if we had this another turn or 2 sooner. Oh well. Just kind of awkward draw. Yeah, our opponent's going for full BM. Good for them. Good for them. No,
I don't
now.
need this.
Come now, child. There's no call for that. That's uncalled for. All right, game over. So far, we've had 3 games that didn't feel like games, not like the back and forth nail biters you may have come to expect from these epic token battles and control matchups you've been seeing. Let's see what we get for the next one. Here's a player, here's their phone number. Actually, that's probably their DCI number, but who knows? I don't know what you all out there know about DCI numbers, but for those of you in the know, I have a 5-digit DCI number. That's how long I've been playing Magic. It's kind of like a status symbol at this point. I've had offers to buy it. I won't say for how much. Somebody just wants to go impersonate me. To say they have a 5-digit DCI. Ajani's Welcome and Noiner Priest. So I have been playing decks like this on Twitch, and it has been ridiculous. I must say, I've fallen a bit in love with like these Ajani's Welcome, Anointer Priest, insane life gain machines. My favorite right now is a black-white version. Yeah, I don't run the Servo Exhibition, but I can see the appeal. Yep, no blocks. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with this game. I know we can make some very large knights, and that making really large creatures is one way to pressure these decks, as long as they don't draw Dusk to Dawn, which, you know, any of you who stayed till the end of that crazy game. All right, the stockpile. Oh god, this is exactly the kind of deck. It is exactly this kind of deck that I've been playing a lot. And they run Fumigate, which is also not good. Not good for us at all. Exhibition, more life. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a proper beating. Maybe I'm supposed to take out the priest. Let's see what happens if I just attack here. Yeah, I can't really stop my opponent from making more tokens, so I guess I just have to make more knights. The Thopter Arrest probably doesn't get better than taking out a Noiner Priest, and my opponent is tapped out now, so I can take it away without them being able to put it in the graveyard. That's probably the best thing I can do here. They are down to a card. Here's the upkeep scry to make sure they get a decent draw step. And they have a mentor. Oh, that was a worst case scenario. That's a worst case scenario right there. And now I'm wondering if we're going to go yet another game without hitting our 4th land, which is getting a bit frustrating. But hey, we did it! Yes! Indeed. Alright, we gotta play Aryel to take out the mentor as soon as possible. Alright. Our opponent will get, it looks like a card draw off this mentor, maybe a little more if they find another small thing. So you sacrifice the creature, you sacrifice the token on your upkeep so that you get to see and scry before your draw, making your draw better. And then you have Revolt for the turn, so you can set up Revolt for the end step. Sunmare. Ooh. Yuck. Well, at least they didn't draw off Mentor, but Indestructible Horses are problems. Let's see what this does. X untapped knights you control. Destroy target creature with power X or less. So right now I have 3 knights. Johnny doesn't get anything back. Second Aryel isn't a great play. I do want more knights on the battlefield, not Ajani. Well, I guess, but Ajani can make Aryel big enough that it can block a Sunmare. So maybe that's a good play. But we still, no, we want the black mana to use the ability. So the play is Benalia and kill the Mentor. and work on getting to the Sunmare. Because right now we are one short of the Sunmare. So we can wait until the trigger on the Mentor is going to go off. Okay, the good old upkeep scry. Keeps it on top, that's not very nice. That can only be bad. That can only be bad. Okay, other stockpile, sure. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. No attacks from the horse. Alright. Blow up the Mentor. Stop that card draw. I guarantee you that can get absolutely ridiculous. I've done it. Our opponent can sack it to scry, which is fine. And what they should do. Okay, the bottom. So whatever's on top of their deck right now, they don't like it too much. They're gonna get 2 servos and 2 Sunmares. Or a Sunmare, I'm sorry. Oh, they didn't, because they didn't gain life during their turn. Ooh, that's neat. So the Ajani's welcome thing went off on end step, so they're still on only 1 Sunmare, and that is good. Alright. We do have 5 Knights. We can tag this Sunmare. So that's going to be the plan, and I'm going to get Ajani down and start doing Ajani things.
I am proud to fight by your side.
We want this big enough to... We want it big enough to block the horse. Who else do we want to pump? I guess we may as well start pumping the vigilant creatures. Pumping the Mimic doesn't really do much in the long term.
Be strong.
Okay, so do we want to attack? It's very hard for our opponent to set up a block to kill it without like throwing everything in front of it, and we have another. So I think I do. If the opponent blocks with the horse that's indestructible, we can blow up the Sunmare and kill both. So this is a tricky attack for the opponent to deal with, but the right play is to block with a servo or not block at all. Let's see what they do. Yeah, looks like a servo is going to take one for this particular team. And the bottom, okay. So they're digging, and they probably would love to find a Fumigate. Although now the Ajani is there. So it gives us a board presence despite it, even if a Fumigate goes off. I think ultimating an Ajani might be one of the only ways to keep pace. The Ajani ultimate, by the way, is at the beginning of your end step, 3/1/1 cat tokens with lifelink every turn. Another bottom. So opponent's digging. Digging, digging, digging. Maybe playing Sunmare means they don't play Fumigate. I love the Fumigate version, but maybe I'm making too many assumptions about what goes in their deck. Okay, play another Exhibition. That's going to gain some life. Okay. I don't think that there's any cause for attack. I have to make sure they don't go to their end step, though. So as soon as they say they're not attacking with anything, we'll blow up the Sunmare. One, two, two. Oh wait, it auto-selected. I just still have to hit submit. I really don't like that interaction. It definitely makes me... I almost hit submit on the wrong thing many times because I start unselecting things instinctively. I'd prefer it just like it did before the last update. If you have exactly 5 knights and you say you're going to pay 5, just tap the knights. Just do it. Faster. I like things faster. Card to the top. What could it be? We're going to have a very large attack step available, which is exciting. Let's see what happens. A lot of servos, though, from the opponent, and a crazy high life total. Alright, 5 4s. I should probably pump this one so it doesn't trade. We can also blow up the horse after attacking so it can't block. I guess we'll make it so our opponent has to put even more creatures in front of the Mimic if they want to kill it.
See in yourself what I see in you.
We could use the Dunes, but then we can't use the Aryel during combat. Let's just attack. And before blockers, we'll use Aryel to kill the horse. Oh, it went right to blocking. How about that? Just when you think you've got Magic figured out. Well, now in this case, I think I'm better off making a knight. So we're going to let that particular knight die. Remember, we can also crank out knight tokens with Aryel. Our opponent knows what's on top of their deck. There isn't a lot of point to scrying here. We don't have lifelink or anything they could prevent. It looks like they're going to do it anyway. Maybe they forgot. Oh, now they bottom it. Interesting. So they had a card they liked. Something changed. Maybe it was something like a Servo Exhibition or a Mentor of the Meek. Okay, they keep this one. Did we play the Knight of Malice? I think so. If my opponent has Fumigate, there's not a lot I can do about it at this stage. And we can get the knight back with another Ajani. Oh, another welcome. Okay. Perhaps Fumigate isn't an option, or I would consider my opponent aggressively scrying for it. This is one of the issues that I have playing a game like Arena that has so many different types of people playing it, is I often get into my head about what I play in my deck and don't think about... I don't give as much like thought to what other people would play that I wouldn't. But obviously those Servo Exhibitions and Sunmares occupy spots in the deck that I don't use. So it doesn't make sense to then also assume that they have Fumigate. Doesn't mean they don't, though. The games go on. Yep, let's keep the beats coming. Don't think I want to throw the Mimic into this. I think we'll just keep pumping the Vigi
I will
Knights.
lend you my strength.
Another Mimic. Also naming Knight. Just trying to go bigger and wider and crazier before our opponent gets their bigger, wider, and crazy on. As I'm sure a card like Anointed Procession at this stage would be a big problem. Is that it? Okay, our opponent's deciding to absorb some damage now, possibly considering going for lethal with the Dunes, but I don't think that will do them any good because of how much vigilance the Knights have. As we still have plenty of blockers. The vigilant side makes the Dunes plan a lot worse. So you might be, if you don't have 4 Ajanis, if the mythic requirement is a problem for you playing this deck, you can see in a hand like this that 4 Ajanis might not actually be the right call. They're not very useful in multiples at all. Some Planeswalkers can be, or at least aren't totally dead, but Ajani, you just don't seem to really want multiples. So it's perfectly fine to sub in more cards like Call the Cavalry or cards in the 4-drop spot that make more knights. There's nothing wrong with that. Here comes another knight token, baby. 4 4s because of the mimics. Well, I definitely want to ultimate Ajani. So we'll take the emblem.
I will not kill, but they will.
Ha! I love it. Alright, we'll play other Ajani.
No friend of mine fights alone.
And let's pump it up. Keep adding to our vigilant army.
You are capable of more than you assume.
And let's get into combat. If the opponent tries any funky blocks, we have Aryel can blow some of that up. But I still don't think I want to put the mimics in harm's way. Although, actually, we're sending so much damage. Let's think about that. If they really can't afford here to double block the mimics. So they'll take too much damage. So yeah, we can do this. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to taking it to Chump Town. My opponent's leaving 2 1/1s behind. Taking 14. Wowzers. Lots of scrying coming, though. If they do have any kind of way to catch up, they have a good shot of finding it. So everything that's jump blocking here, and probably even these creatures off to the side, they can scry to the bottom and try to find the right card for what could be their last draw step. Still looking. We could, while they're tapped out, take them down another creature so they have 1 less scry before their draw step. We'll see if they go top or bottom on this one, and then we'll either make that play or not. If they go top, there's no point in doing it, but if they go bottom, could be 1 less scry, and that's what we're looking for. You never know when when the 1 less scry would make a difference. There's our kitties. Hi, kitties. Hi, Johnny cats. What a lovely outfit you have. Holy cow. Gypsy cat. All right, there's the upkeep scry. They go bottom. It's all on this top deck. What could it be? It's a land. The game is over. Another epic time for the knights. They went on a quest. They ran into a ridiculous amount of tiny servo constructs, but they vanquished them with their persistence and their valiance and their keywords. All right, let's take a quick look at the build before calling a wrap on the day. We've got 3 of the Dauntless Bodyguard, which is a card I don't like very much, but I mean, sometimes you just need a 1-drop, and at least this one's a knight and has a little bit more ability. I just find the 2/1 not to do too much, but then Love for the Metallic Mimic Knight of Grace and Knight of Malice group here. They do a lot of good stuff. You really need to make sure you have a 2-drop in this deck, because then on 3 you bring down Benalish Marshal and History of Benalia, which basically make your 2-drop a ton better, either by pumping it up right away or pumping it up in a turn or two and keeping lots of pressure on the opponent. What also makes a 2-drop better into a 3-drop? Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants, so you can pump them both and keep up the beats. We also have some Thopter Arrest. That's 2 of our removal. You saw it take out an Anointer Priest, and I think that was a pretty key play, as another Anointer Priest would have bought our opponent a ton more time. We have 2 Ixalan's Bindings that we never drew, but doesn't mean they can't be handy sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta lock Jace onto a plane, and that's what this artwork is doing. 3 Valiant Knights. Don't think I ever resolved those, but they are part of the perfect 1 through 5 curve. 1, one of these. 2, one of these. 3, one of these. 4, just about any of these, like Ajani or Aryel or Valiant Knight, and then 5. If your 4 was the Valiant Knight, 5 is give all your knights double strike and crash. And you saw Aryel do Aryel things. I don't think we would have won that game without Aryel either, destroying the Mentor of the Meek and the Sunmare, just kind of keeping us around. Then the mana base is actually very good. It's very reliable. We have 22 ways to pay the white mana for our triple white card, Benalish Marshal, which is good. The only time that the Unclaimed Territory gets in the way is when you don't have enough white mana for History of Benalia, because it's not a creature, but that shouldn't be much of a problem. You still have 18 white sources, which should be enough to cast Benalia on 3 very reliably. And we have a couple of little black sources. We actually have a lot of black sources, to be honest, because these are 12, 13, 14. So we should always have black on turn 2, or at least reliably have black on turn 2 over 80% of the time for the Knight of Malice. So I really like the mana base. I think it came out well. And I think the deck came out well. So if you're looking for some fun tribal times in MTG Arena, maybe you want to give it a go with Knights. Go on a quest, defeat the rabbit with the big sharp pointy teeth. All right, thank you. This has been Tribal Times with CGB. Sub to the channel, like the video if you liked it. I'll be back with another video on another day. See ya.